On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, the only thing people seem to want to know right now is about the market prices, so let's dedicate today to that. And also, Bittrex are going to start accepting US dollar deposits, which is pretty big news. And if you do decide to go shopping for cryptos during these price declines, then may I recommend the Binance exchange. This is probably my favorite exchange right now, so link to that in the video description if you'd like to sign up. But as ever, I don't recommend storing cryptos on an exchange, so just bear that in mind. Hi there guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I'm your host, Chris Coney. So on this Monday morning then, we kind of moved back to one of the old formats, you know, when we used to do the market roundup and so on. You know, a lot of people look at Coinmarketcap, and I used to do this segment every day on every show, but I dropped it quite a while ago because the numbers are changing in real time. That's one problem. Plus, when we get into a situation like this where we're clearly in a downward market, there are only a couple of numbers that I find informative looking at CoinMarketCap. I much prefer to look at the charts because then you get some historical context and so on. If you just look at this, right, say Bitcoin tripled yesterday and then it says down on 10%, doesn't mean much, does it? So it's only an isolated number. So the overall market cap is one number that I do like to look at on CoinMarketCap. So right now we're sitting at 377 billion. We peaked at around, I think, 830 billion back in the end of the first week of January it was. So that represents a reduction of approximately 54% of the overall market cap. And that's happened pretty quickly, right? It's happened over the course of a month. Yeah, call it 7th of January, near enough the 7th of February. So in a calendar month, we've had a 54% reduction in the overall market cap, which is about $448 billion in overall dollar value, right? Now, I've heard people describe this as being like value, quote, wiped out, right? However, I think it's more accurate to say that this amount of crypto or this amount of value has left the crypto space by being transferred back to the old financial system, which is where it came from in the first place, right? And this is just a function of the cryptocurrency revolution being global, quite frankly. Never before have so many people been able to participate in such a venture. And it's the internet that allows everyone to participate. So that's no surprise. The second number I like to look at is the 24-hour volume here. And at $22 billion, that seems low by comparison to what it was, but it's more sane than the hundreds of billions of volume that we were turning over during the recent mania. Perhaps I'm going to recalibrate to normality now that, yeah, 20 billion odd dollars a day in volume, that's probably more normal. Whereas we were doing hundreds of billions a day, you know, turning over when we were rocketing up there. Almost turning over the entire market cap in a day. Maybe not that extreme, but, you know, you get the idea. So when prices kick off again, you know, you just watch this number climb, this 24-hour volume. And then the fun number to look at really is the winners and the losers, which is in the trending section of CoinMarketCap. This can be quite comical on CoinMarketCap because they include all the coins rather than like on-chain effects, who just include like the top 60 or something. So this gives a whole list of coins, and if I'm not mistaken, Metal is the highest cap coin on this list. And today it's up like 19%. You know, I don't think anyone would be too upset by that, given the market conditions, right? The overall big winner is this Quebec coin, is it? It's like Quebec coin, is it? I don't know. But anyway, it's up 500%, but on a very low volume. It's like 500,000. And there's a whole bunch of others that are actually in the green today, quite interestingly. You've got the supposedly price stable coins like USD, which is $1.15 right now, on 10, nearly $11 million of trading volume. So that's not really working, is it? And remember, I've got Rune Christensen coming on tomorrow, who's going to be talking about this coin. Oh, it appears the DAI token, which is supposed to be price stable around $1, and it's doing a better job. 99.5 cents today, not percent, but only $1.5 million has been traded. That's interesting. Given that BitUSD is one of its competitors, $11 million of that has been traded, but it's lost its ability to maintain around $1. It's now worth $1.15, the BitUSD. So I'm going to ask him all about this, because I'm going to ask him about BitUSD and how that works versus how the DAI works, and what kind of volatility would we need to break these price stable mechanisms, right? So I've got a whole bunch of questions to ask him tomorrow when he comes on the show. Let's look at the charts though. Charts provided by Coinigy, as always, link in the video description if you want to sign up for a Coinigy account. One thing I did notice today on the daily chart, if we wave over today's candle and we look down here at my relative strength index, you can see, watch this number just here. When I wave over today's candle, it's reading a 29.88. That is oversold, quite significantly oversold. If we maximize the chart here on the RSI, you can see the lower boundary here around the 30% mark, or the 30 index. We are just about to cross into oversold territory. And it's took quite a bit of selling power to do that, mind you, but we are there nonetheless. So the Bitcoin chart's having this big old battle around 8,000, right? But unfortunately, at the moment, we seem to be gradually eking lower. And by that, I mean we've set a couple of new lows, one yesterday and one today. They're only slightly lower, but they are lower nonetheless. In fact, I was watching this last night. If I flick over to the hourly chart, which I don't normally do on the show, we see back here, which was around noon on the 2nd of February, we hit that low of 7,960 when there was the major price move down, and that's the bottom of my Fibonacci retracement lines. And then it looked like we were going to go a bit sideways, but then, look here, the grey line on my chart, that's the previous low. And it was yesterday, the 4th of February at 8 p.m. that we set a new low of 7,809, right? So the previous one was 7,960. So then we had 7,809, so $100 odd lower. But then within the last couple of hours, actually the previous candle that started at 9 a.m. GMT, London time, we hit a new low of 7,751, which was lower than 7,809. So that's another $50, $60 lower. Again, they're only slightly lower, but setting those new lows means, you know, someone was willing to sell for an even lower price. On the volume, however, if we look at the volume, that big move here, we had a, on Bitfinex, like 13,000 Bitcoins traded in that hour, 8 p.m. London time last night. That's where we set the new low of 7,809. However, there was only 6,000 Bitcoins traded at 9 o'clock this morning to set that second low of 7,751. So, you know, we're going to run out of sellers eventually, you know what I mean? Because most of this is not necessarily trading activity from traders. They're just looking for opportunities, right? The real hard panic sells are from the holders that no longer want to hold. You know what I mean? There was an interesting tweet I found actually regarding these Bitcoin crashes. Someone tweeted this out. It's a historical table of data on Bitcoin corrections, and it lists a whole bunch of them, when the correction started and ended, how many days it lasted, what was the Bitcoin high price and the low price, what the percentage decline there was, and how many dollars did we decline. So the biggest one I can see on here is from November of 2013, which lasted for 411 days, when we went from $1,163 to $152. That was an 87% correction, and it lost like $1,010 in value. By comparison, right now, the crash that started on the 17th of December, according to this, has gone right through to the 2nd of Feb, but may continue. That's more like a 59% correction, right? And a reduction of $11,500. So it's well within the range of corrections that have happened in the past by percentage terms. So, yeah. And these are all, it says here, these are all 30% or more corrections from all-time highs. And this goes back as far as January 2012. That doesn't mean that, you know, we can break a record here, but I'm just saying we're still well within the range of what's happened historically. Potential good news for crypto, though, after all that. I found this article that says Bittrex to accept not BitUSD, Bittrex to accept US dollar fiat deposits, according to their CEO. So in this interview with the CEO of Bittrex, it came out that they will soon be accepting US dollar deposits directly. So this means you would no longer have to say buy Bitcoin on Coinbase or Gemini and then transfer the Bitcoin to Bittrex and then buy altcoins with Bitcoin, right? This would be one move. You would just bank transfer your US dollars to Bittrex's account and boom, you'd just be trading. So that's going to be huge for Bittrex. This is not an easy thing to do though. So I'm not surprised that A, it's taken them time to do it, and B, it explains to me why most other exchanges just stick to crypto trading pairs. You know, the likes of Binance and your KuCoins and all these sort of folks. Because it's hard. Once you start tickling the old financial system, it's just a royal pain in the ass. So it's yeah, you're then getting into US dollar and American regulation, and oh my goodness me. So, but you know, they're putting the work in to differentiate themselves from the likes of Coinbase and Gemini, who only have a few cryptos on sale, right? So when Bittrex launches US dollar deposits, we may well see some altcoins start trading directly against the dollar. That would be very, very interesting. So, I mean, I think that's why a lot of the coins trade against Bitcoin is because you have to buy. I mean, I even did it in the crash. I took British pounds and I used Coinbase to buy Ethereum, and then I transferred that Ethereum to the likes of Bittrex and Binance to go shopping for altcoins. So that was a pain. However, and this isn't going to work for me because I'm using British pounds, and Bittrex aren't going to accept British pounds, but you get the concept. If I was able to just then transfer the pounds or the dollars to Bittrex and then just buy them straight on there, wow, that's one step removed, right? And that's really the key. As this whole ecosystem evolves, it's going to get easier to use as the number of steps required to complete an action gets less and less and less. If you could, one click is right, one click shopping on Amazon, that's the ultimate, like the holy grail of online shopping. And when they got to that, that was, just so much friction removed. But at the minute, there is a lot of friction in this whole cryptocurrency space, isn't there? And that's what really bugs out the newbies, because the more steps, the more complexity, more chance of doing something wrong or pressing the wrong button, or people just not completing the process because they can't be bothered, or they're just too scared to continue, right? Anyway, so the point of that was various altcoins that don't currently trade against the dollar directly may start trading directly against the dollar. Maybe supplanting Bitcoin as like the reserve currency then. That would be a first, right? Now, bearing in mind also, Bittrex supports 190 different cryptocurrencies. Yikes. So all those dollars could then be trading against any one of those if there was sufficient liquidity and if someone decides to set up a market for it, which Bittrex has control of right now. Anyway, if you want to listen to this full interview, you've got to scroll down to the bottom of this article, which I'll link in the show notes. And there is a SoundCloud player. So just press play and that will take you through the entire interview. The other thing that is generally bad news, but I think potentially good news for crypto, is, as far as I know, on the 8th of February, the US government is going to hit its funding limit again. So sorry, I don't have any sources for this. So perhaps someone can help me out by posting some sort of source or news article in the comments below to verify or falsify what I've just said there. But other than that, thanks very much for joining me today, guys. If you like this episode, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new around here, get subscribed. And if you would like access to my very best material, you know what to do. Head over to my website, cryptoversity.com, click on the courses button from the main menu, and you can either take one of my online courses at the top of the page or scroll down a bit further and you can see this Saturday in London, I'm doing a one-day crypto investing workshop, and what a coincidence, what a time to get into crypto when they are as cheap as they've been in a year. So what an opportunity that will be. So check that out. We've got maybe 2 or 3 places left, so hop on over there. Other than that, guys, I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.